Okay, can we please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 2nd Town of Monroe Board Meeting. Kate, I'm just going to go through a couple announcements, then I'll let you come up, okay? Orange County Mobile DMV will be here at Town Hall. They've reinstituted their... Oh, correct. Thank you. Motion to open up tonight's meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Second. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye?
All aye.
Okay. Mobile DMV...
Richardson, aye. Thank you, sorry.
Mobile DMV will be at Town Hall on June 17th, same times, 10 to 12, 1 to 3:30. They're closed for lunch from 12 to 1. If you have any questions, you could visit dmv.ny.gov for all the necessary documents needed before you visit. There's still a high volume of customers applying for real or enhanced ID, so there will be a little bit of a backup. Item 3.2 is early voting. The early voting sites for the primary election are as follows. Orange County will have 4 sites that are open to all eligible enrolled voters throughout the county. The early voting sites all have accessibility to those voters with physical disabilities. The 4 locations are City of Middletown. That's at the Middletown Senior Center at 6280 Main Street in Middletown. The City of Newburgh, Newburgh Activity Center, 401 Washington Street, Newburgh. The Town of Goshen, Caroline Building at 23 Hatfield Lane in Goshen. And right here, Town of Monroe, 1465 Orange Turnpike. The hours and dates during early voting for June election only vary. So check the schedule for June 14th through June 22nd. Okay, item 3.3 is the Monroe Repair Cafe.
Yep, so the Monroe Repair Cafe is coming up very quickly. It's going to be right here, Saturday, June 28th in Town Hall. It'll go from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They're still in need of a few more volunteers. The knife sharpener guy who was supposed to be here unfortunately cannot make it, so now we're looking for another knife sharpening guy. If you have any questions or if you'd like to volunteer, you can reach out to Dennis at monroenyrepaircafe@gmail.com, or you can text him at 862-377-4493.
Item 3.4 is the Lions Club Community Fishing Derby. Mary?
Yes, that's going to take place on Saturday, June 28th, with the rain date of Sunday, June 29th, because we all know what the weather's been like lately. The time is going to be from 8 to 12. There's a sign-up that starts at 8:15, but please get there early. And then there's a fishing clinic that starts at 8:30. This is a catch and release. There will be prizes, and there's basically 4 age groups, 5 to 6, 7 to 8, 9 to 10, and 11 to 12. And most important, you need to have a parent who would accompany the child, and they have to stay there for the entire fishing derby. Thank you.
Okay. Councilwoman Houle, item 3.5 is a 2025 Orange County Household Hazardous Waste and Operation Safe Scripts Pharmaceutical Collection Event.
That's right. So now this is one event that is not going to be canceled should it rain. So on June 14th, Orange County will be providing homeowners with an opportunity to get rid of some household hazardous waste and some prescriptions. If you go onto the county's website, orangecountygov.com, you'll be able to access the information of what you can bring and what you can't bring. What you can bring, in a nutshell, is oil and wet latex water-based paints, stains, varnishes, paint thinners, stuff like that. They'll take fluorescent bulbs, which is new. And as far as pharmaceutical drugs go, they've added that on. They'll also take rechargeable batteries, batteries from automobiles, transmission fluids, motor oil, stuff like that. Do not bring electronics. Do not bring dried latex paint or smoke detectors. Don't bring household batteries or medical sharps. And for any other questions, just go onto the county's website, orangecountygov.com.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And that's being collected at Port Jervis High School, 10 Route 209 in Port Jervis, New York.
Okay. One other announcement that's not on here. The town, our Parks Director, Emery Morris, had applied and received a grant from New York State Urban Forestry Programs towards the planting of the 3 trees at Monbassia Park. In March, we received half of that funding, which was $500, and today we received the final $500 of that $1,000. The program administrator for New York State Forestry Program complimented our Arbor Day event along with the town's proclamation and thorough documentation of the event. They appreciated that we incorporated several facets into the day, including scouts, our Conservation Commission, and an arborist that donated over 100 saplings. In the future, they obviously want to work with us because we have an action plan and we follow through on that action plan along with the well-documented process that maximizes the grant. So thanks to Emery Morris, Dennis, and the Conservation Commission for everything that they did along with the Scouts. Supervisor Kate Luciani, you had requested to speak tonight, and it's good news. Come on up. Yep. Just make sure you state your name and. Oh, you got to turn the mic
Slide
on.
it on.
Slide on the. It's on the. Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Kate Luciani, Woodbury Town Supervisor, and I just wanted to come down tonight to speak to you all. I had put up a video. We were awarded a grant for the Ag and Market District for our animal shelter, and we were awarded almost the full amount, $490,000.
Congratulations. Awesome.
That's fantastic.
I would have brought my confetti gun here, but I didn't know how you guys would take to that, so I did it at, our animal shelter. But I wanted to thank you guys because without the partnership that we have with Monroe, with having the IMA that we created together, we only would have been able to get $250,000. Our shelter would not have been in compliance as of 2025. So because of the fact that we also help with you guys through this IMA, we were able to put both of us together, and we were able to get almost the full amount for the $490,000,
Awesome.
which now will give us like a brand new shelter, So I just wanted to come and I wanted to thank you because this is how we do it with communities working together. And, without, like I said, having this, we were able to get the full amount. And it's amazing and it'll be incredible for our animals. So
100%.
Awesome. Just wanna thank you.
Congratulations.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you, Kate.
Thanks, Kate. Okay. I'll make a motion to open the continuation of the public hearing in relation to the increase and improvement of facilities for Water District Number 14.
Bingham will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Cancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Anybody sign up to speak? Nope. Anybody want to speak? Mary?
I did ask Quinn Mulqueen over at McGooey Hauser Etzel for an updated cost estimate because the original estimate we had was back from November of 2021. And at that time, the cost was $1,951,500 to do all the upgrades that water district needs. So she hasn't gotten back to me yet because she was on vacation the other week. She's hoping to have it for our next monthly water meeting. So hopefully, we only have one meeting in July, so I'd like to have, we'll didn't get to that part yet, but hopefully for our July 14th meeting, I'll have more numbers.
The other thing with respect to Water District 14, hopefully we'll have it. Hopefully it'll be approved as an official district. I was on the phone today with our bonding attorney, and right now we're still awaiting approval from, I believe it's the Assembly. I think the Senate has already approved it, and we had 7 or 8 other questions we had to answer today. We answered all but one. The remaining one will be answered tomorrow through Finance, and hopefully it's approved before this session ends. So,
We have to pass the resolution.
no, that
No?
resolution's off the table because of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
still have one more question that has to be completed. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
Okay, if that's it. I'll make a motion to keep open the continuation of the public hearing for Water District Number 14 to July 14th at 7 p.m. or immediately thereafter.
Bingham will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so moved. I'll make a motion to open up the public hearing regarding the proposed application for the 2026 Orange County Community Development Block Grant.
I'll second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
So moved.
No one signed up to speak.
No one signed up? Okay, this is basically an opportunity for the public to give us their thoughts regarding any possible projects for the CDBG grant. We're looking right now at playground system up at Monbassia Park. It's in the works with our grant writer, Morris. Okay.
I have a question. Last time this came up, I asked for sidewalks, and it wasn't on a town road. Is the O&R road a town road?
Road is a town road.
Because I notice a lot of people walking from the parking area towards where we have our truck festival, food truck festival, and there are a lot of fishermen over there. I was wondering if possibly sidewalks could be put in on that one side.
Yeah, I'll make a suggestion to MHA.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just had a follow-up question regarding the parks. I know that there's currently an overuse of the fields, and I was speaking with Park Director Morris about the possibility of both soccer teams and Pee Wee football players using Monbassia, and we were only able to offer one team that I know of playtime once a week, and that was without, I don't believe that there are goalposts or lights or any accommodations with this grant application. Would it be feasible to include any asks for like soccer lining, goalposts for football, anything like that?
There's, aren't there caveats to
There's
the
restrictions.
CDBG?
There's restrictions, yeah.
It has to be associated with
ADA compliant.
ADA compliance. It has to be associated with socioeconomic restrictions. So
We're making ADA modifications to the park for
Yes.
parking.
Playground.
no,
Access.
for the playground.
Oh, okay.
To have playground equipment, that would be ADA accessible.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay, I'll make a motion to, let's see. I'll make a motion to keep open the public hearing for one more meeting for the proposed application for the 2025 Orange County Community Development Block Grant till June 16th at 7 p.m. or immediately thereafter.
You have to call the
Call
question.
the question, yep.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, item 5.1, motion to accept the minutes of May 19th, 2025. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion. I just have a request that one of the motions be changed. I was the second on Deputy Highway Super stipend. I'm not sure why it was written up that I was not the second, as the person who was written up as a second didn't actually speak audibly into the microphone, so I would just request that be changed.
Motion?
Do I need to make a question on the minutes? Okay, I'd like to make the motion. Well, do you want me to pull up the meeting? I mean, it's in the meeting. You can hear the audio. I'm just asking that it be amended to reflect the.
I still think you need to make a motion. It sounds like you want to make a motion to amend the minutes to reflect that you seconded that motion. It sounds like that's what you're asking. What's that?
I didn't second.
No, I just said that sounds like what she's asking.
I'm just asking for a correction. If I have to make a motion, I'm asking if people are going to sort of start a debate about it, that we not waste time, but I do have the audio able to be pulled, so that's what, it's right here. It's just obvious that I was the one that seconded it, so that's what I'm asking, if people are going to make it a time-wasting issue.
The motion would be to amend 20-25 resolution number 2025-228 to read that you made the second.
That's correct. I'll second that motion, I suppose.
Wait a minute, you making a motion? or you
I
seconding
think she just
I
made
made
the
the
motion.
motion.
it? You made the motion?
Yeah.
You're seconding it.
Yes.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye?
Scangarello, nay.
Cardone, nays.
Full nay.
Move on. Call the question on the acceptance of the May 19th minutes.
Bingham, aye?
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, nay.
Okay. Order the claims, item 6.1, general fund abstract. So item 6.1. Be resolved, Town Board of the Town of Monroe requests the approval of abstract 25-11, general fund containing checks 36837 through 36884, totaling $69,469.73.
Full second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye?
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, item 6.1 is item 7.1 is the budget transfer. That is a motion, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Monroe approves budget transfer abstract 2025-5 totaling $8,500 for 2025 expenditures. The abstract budgets are on the abstract sheet, which is sheet number 25-05, and they total $8,500.
Full second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye?
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Next up, Matthew Rogozinski is a seasonal laborer at Smith Clove Park. Resolution approving Matthew Rogozinski for the position of seasonal laborer, Smith Clove Park, with an employment start date of June 3rd, 2025, at an hourly rate of $18. Employment not to exceed the maximum seasonal employment period of 9 months. Matthew has been pre-approved by Orange County Department of Human Resources for employment.
I'll second.
Question?
Bingham, aye?
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so moved. Resignation from the Conservation Commission. Reluctantly, I'll make a motion, be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Monroe makes a motion to accept a letter of resignation from Charlie Pakula, Conservation Commission, effective May 22nd, 2025.
I'll second again reluctantly.
Charlie does a lot for our communities on a lot of committees
Yep.
and a lot of organizations.
The guy's everywhere.
So I'll call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, nay.
Thank you, Charlie, for your years of service.
Absolutely. Still see you on Clean Sweep, though. He's there.
Yes, we will. And at the Lions Club Fishing Derby.
Yep, yep. Okay, item 8.3 is a training request. John Dowling for Dial-A-Ride. This is a resolution I will make to approve Dial-A-Ride training request for John Dowling, who is our head bus driver attendance at the New York State DOT Bus Accident Investigation Training and Capital District Transit Authority Training in Albany from June 23rd to June 26th, 2025. It's, the cost of the course is free, and the town will be responsible for covering expenses which are reportable, so we receive funding back from the federal government. Hotel accommodations are $606, meals approximately $228, and round-trip mileage is $240. I'm sorry, 240 miles at 70 cents, which is $168.
Bingham will second.
I just want to round that up just to $1,100,
Okay.
just in case. So the approximate total is $1,100.
I'll second the $1,100.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so moved. Resolution approving the Town of Monroe Food Truck Festival taking place on Saturday, June 14th from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. At the town-owned O&R Park at 61 O&R Road in Monroe. This year's Food Truck Festival will benefit the Monroe Fire District in hosting the 2025 Orange County Firemen's Parade. The cost of that is in the tens of thousands of dollars, multiple tens of thousands of dollars to host that. Sal, do you want to discuss the musical lineup since it's on here too?
Yeah, we got a great music lineup this year. We got Identity Crisis, Just Us, Hudson Blue will be 4:15 to 5:45, and then to end the day, we'll have Georgia 5 in their 80s disco. Me and Mary will be out there shaking it up. And Kate.
Just so everyone's aware that we moved it back an hour, so it's going to start at 1 and go till 8. Also, there's no dogs allowed, and there will be road closures in both directions on O&R Road from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. So,
Hope for good weather.
yeah, yep. We'll also have transportation to the Food Truck Festival from the commuter parking lot through our Darla bus service, and that's free, or you can walk the short distance. So in regards to that motion, do I have a second?
Poole, you go ahead, Sal.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Next up is the agreement for the ATM services pertaining to the Food Truck Festival. Dory, you're going to have to make that motion.
Yes, I am. I make a motion authorizing the supervisor to sign the general agreement pertaining to the ATM and merchant services for the Town of Monroe Food Truck Festival on June 14th, 2025. Call the question?
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay, so moved. You're going to have to do,
So for the CDBG grant, I make a motion that we authorize the supervisor to sign the government body fair housing resolution as required for the fiscal year 2026 Community Development Block Grant application. Do I need to read the be it resolved?
You're not required to. The board has it. It's in the board docs.
Okay.
So you're never really required to read it. It's just board preference. It's up to you.
Okay, so this essentially means that we support fair housing for people of, regardless of race, religion, ethnicity, all those other things. So I make that motion.
Bingham to second.
Thank you. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scangarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Okay. Next up is the grant consulting services proposal. You've had that, it was handed out last meeting. There's no need to sign anything because as long as we pass a resolution, there's an automatic renewal based on the prior contract. So, motion regarding service proposal renewal for grant consulting services provided by Millennium Strategies for a one-year period of June 1st, 2025 through May 31st, 2026. They'll continue to provide a full array of grant consulting services on behalf of the town for an amount not to exceed $39,600 per year. They'll be billed on a flat rate retainer basis at a rate of $3,300 per month, and there's no change in the price from last year to this year. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion, we're still going to get the monthly updates from them. Nothing else in the contract has changed, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't get the monthly updates, and I'm aware that Councilwoman Bingham also does not get the monthly updates because of this bizarre structure policy that you have that impugns our rights as council people, where we can't talk to consultants, which includes our own attorney when he finds it convenient. And even the state comptroller has weighed in, saying that that is a ridiculous structure that is both ineffective and violation of our rights, again, as council people. Regardless of the legal structure of the policy, it's an ineffective use of, what is this, $39,600 a year. I've spoken with several department heads who cite that it's actually quite irritating for them to go through Millennium as they can't manage the grant and their day-to-day tasks as department heads, and that they would prefer either seeking the grant themselves because the effort that they spend walking through the person at Millennium of the municipal structures that they don't seem aware of is tiresome. When I tried to contact them, obviously, we've been through this whole rigmarole before where I'm either ignored, you think it's funny to play my voicemails telling them that they are participating in an illegal policy enforcement into the town record, like it's hilarious to waste $40,000 of taxpayer time. We're not even getting the updates to make sure that our services are being granted. The consultant's policy isn't working the way that it is because you just ignore every single one of my emails inquiring about grants through you. And once
Told
again,
me to not respond to you.
actually, I think I told you to stop being disrespectful and insulting repeatedly until I had to request that you stop talking to me at one point altogether. So it would be more convenient if I could talk directly to the grant company.
I don't remember it that way.
So last month, you did get a copy of the,
You mean the last board meeting where you handed me like 6-7 months worth of monthly reports that I'm supposed to get every month?
you got a report last month.
No. I got handed a stack of paper on this dais when I walked into last board meeting of about 6 months worth of grant updates. And we're not being able, like your job as outlined in New York Municipal Code is that you're supposed to keep the council people generally informed. So this service has all sorts of aspects that I know that we're not using because it even has a grant portal and all these active management features. And again, $40,000 just being left without every member of this board being able to effectively use it.
And we have secured over $4.1 million in grants through Millennium.
And we should be effectively taking every dollar that we can out of the service.
Call the question.
Bingham, nay.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
Richardson, nay.
Okay. Item 9.1 is the Monroe Commons Landscape Plan. I don't know if anybody's here. Nope. Okay, I make a motion to table that.
Bingham to second.
I'm not going to give a date. I'll wait for a response from them. Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
Richardson, aye.
9.2, short-term rental application for Osseo Park. So they were granted the variances, I believe, from the ZBA. Council, if you just want to read off the qualifications required for us.
Well, I think the board needs the resolution, so I wasn't aware. I think they were going May 27th for the variances, so you need the resolution with the balancing of the 5 factors.
Okay,
So I think we need to put that on. If you're going to approve it, if that's where we're going, then you can direct me and I'll prepare.
On the 16th?
I'm sorry?
We'll do it on the 16th?
Yeah,
then?
that'd be fine. We can give you
Okay.
the resolution for the 16th.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we table it to June 16th. Call the question.
Hingham, aye?
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool, aye.
Okay. Next up is the Eagle View Estates recommendation for performance security. Glenn Schaefer came to us last board meeting asking for the board to give him a waiver on the performance bond of $14,322. I know Dory did a little background work. Why don't you start? And then
Sure. I had a conversation with the deputy chairperson, Jeff Manson, from the planning board to talk about the performance bond, why the performance bond was put into place. And there were issues regarding grading for the septic, and so that created a necessity for retaining walls. And there was a need to have those retaining walls screened. So in addition to replacing the trees that were taken down because of the grading, because of the building, there were additional trees that need to be put in for this retaining wall, and so that necessitated this performance bond. I'm not in favor of waiving the performance bond.
that pretty much came back to me the same way from our board chair.
Yeah.
Planning board chair, Bonnie Franson. Not have to take any action.
No, I
And-
mean,
Correct.
it was only if you were going to modify it, but if it's staying as is, the requirement has already been imposed.
And I was also at that planning board meeting, and there were issues with the residents regarding the screening. So
Yeah.
it is very important
Yeah.
that the screening take place. Yeah.
Up, amendment to the schedule regarding tree preservation.
We had that discussion last month, whether it should be a $250 application fee to the planning board. The building department already has a way of incorporating it into their existing permit fee schedule. So I don't know what the board wants to discuss further.
I would prefer to choose the lower of the two, to choose the 150, similar to the application for the historic review
I
just-
agree.
and for the scenic road review.
I think that was the example or a similar example that we used. I think a lot line change is also in line with that fee.
As opposed to the 200.
Yeah.
I just think that you have to remember, if somebody's going to cut down a historic tree, and they're going to have to go before the planning board, and we're only going to charge them $150, you might see a lot of historic trees.
No.
Well,
You
but
know,
the cost
you know-
for taking that tree down is also going to be rather excessive. I mean, that's not going to be a,
Well,
that's not gonna
taking
be a
down trees is
$300 job.
expensive unless you are a logger and you can somehow sell that timber, because old growth is very rare nowadays.
The cost of the tree removal, well, first of all, historic trees are going to be protected under the new code.
But they could still cut it down if they go to the planning board. And you might have to have people from the planning board go out and do a site visit. You have 5 members on the planning board who are going out. And, you know,
I think the
I just
conser-
think having a higher fee makes people a little bit more aware that, maybe I should protect that tree.
I thought the Conservation Commission was going to be doing site visits, even in the case where it went to the planning board. Specialized category trees, because they're the ones who are I believe them and the building inspector are the ones designated to identify those categories regardless. And then I just want to make it clear for the public that this is the actual application fee itself. So to even apply for any number, is it above 10?
Above 10.
the
Well,
planning
this,
board?
this
Unless
would even
it's-
be for one particular tree that's a landmark or a specimen tree. And quite frankly, I think just taking the time to go to the planning board, you
Yeah.
know, so many of our families are so busy. So now to take the time out to go to the planning board is going to be part of that mechanism that's going to make people think twice. Do I really want to take this tree down? I know there's a tree my husband would love to take down from our yard, but.
A lot of hoops, and then just to apply for an application itself to pay that much, $250, when a lot line adjustment is $250, and that actually does require a multi-departmental effort and several site visits, if I'm not mistaken. I just think that the historical review I agree that that's more in line with the type of effort that they're expending. And I don't want people to take down a historic tree because they decided that going to the planning board was too difficult, that the fee was too high, and the fee for the tree was too high. So, I don't know.
Somebody makes a motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we update the fee schedule to reflect a $150 application fee for tree preservation.
Second.
Bingham, nay.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Pool eye.
Richardson, aye.
That's all right.
Order main pipes for Bald Hill. We tabled it from last meeting. I don't know if anybody has any comments regarding it.
Yeah, I think, the Orange County Department of Health allows it. They're a wonderful source of reliable information. And it does say, they can use American Water Works C900 ductile iron, or, there's another one, an AWWA C151. I think if we want to say we're looking to make things affordable, because everybody's always looking for affordable housing, this pipe has proven itself to be safe. The longevity, theoretically, because it hasn't really been around for 90 years, but the longevity, they're all comparable to the ductile iron, and it is less expensive. And I think as our water department has more experience with it, they'll be more comfortable. I kind of use the example of when cell phones came out, but let's say we had a town code that said you can only use a rotary phone. You have to keep up with the times. The C900, I think, is the way the future is going to go with piping, because it will keep costs down, and it's safe and it's effective. That's my spiel.
Does our code prohibit it right now, and do we have to make a motion to open?
I have a resolution for a public hearing on that. Let me just, so I did some research with the town of New Windsor and the town of Blooming Grove.
I did New Windsor as well.
Did you speak to the water administrator?
Ooh, I don't have his name. It's the water engineer there, John something.
Yeah, so he said they've had some issues with it in one of their water districts that's a little over, I thought he said 12 years old. And the issue pipe together, had single saddles, work well. He had single strap saddles and they did not work well. Blooming Grove actually has a trailer with replacement parts for a C900. They have said that when they hook their laterals into it, it splits right down the center of the pipe from one end to another. That said, my intention here with the resolution that'll set a public hearing for next meeting is to essentially allow it. But what I want to do is I want to protect not only the residents of the town of Monroe, more importantly, the water district people, or the people who will be in that water district. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to set up a district at Bald Hill so that, God forbid, 8 or 10 years from now, something goes wrong, the district is there. It's formed already. We don't have to go through the rigmarole that we've been going through for 12 years for Water District 14. So, and I had spoken to Bonnie Franson about it, and it was essentially her idea about what she called a quote-unquote a backup district. So I think that would be the way to go. I've spoken to council about it. He feels that it's definitely being something that's going to protect us, and his suggestion was to also get a bond, a maintenance bond.
That's correct. I would suggest 3 years on a maintenance bond.
But the issues that you cited at 12 years were because of certain, did you call them saddles?
Yeah, where the
Single strap.
connection is.
Are
Connection.
those, like, I know they sell different systems of these. Is that something that this system would be pursuing the same technology, or is there a way to, like, if the issue is happening at 12 years, a 3-year bond, I'm concerned, like, how would we?
I think it's the material, not so much the technology, but the material, connecting the PVC to other PVC pipes and not having that junction.
So there's a way around it. There's a different junction.
Well, there's a fix for it, but not necessarily a different junction. I did reach out to Orange County Department of Health to talk with them about the C900, and Steve was very, very informative. What I did ask him, because I was kind of surprised to hear about the problems that New Windsor and Blooming Grove had, and I asked him if there were applications in which one of the other performed better. Is there an application in which the iron ductile pipe performs better than the C900, and then conversely, is there, applications where the PVC is better than the iron? And he said he'd have to do a little bit more research into it, but I agree that if our goal, and also the state's goal, is for us to provide more affordable housing, we're going to have to make the construction of the housing developments more affordable. And this is one way, but in order to protect the town and the residents and be able to provide the maintenance and the ability to fix whatever problems might arise, I think this is a happy compromise.
I also have a question about, did anyone do a cost comparison between, like, if it actually fails at 12 years, is it still more cost effective if you had to switch out all of the junctions or replace the entire system with the same materials rather than do the ductile iron?
No, it wouldn't be the entire, it would just be where that splice or tap is made into the pipe. And you have to remember, Water District 12 has that type of pipe, and that type of pipe was also used for repairs in Water District 14. So we do have a little bit of experience, and from my conversations with people, it's the installation. You have to be very careful on the installation. If the installation is done correctly, you should not have a problem. You should not.
Because our engineers will oversee that.
Right. Okay.
What? Excuse me. What'd you say?
She's having a hard time hearing because of the microphones.
Oh, okay. Okay. So what I will say, Mary, is that the protection going forward is the important part, and that's our responsibility. As far as the cost analysis, you also have to factor in the fact that if you're going to make a repair, you're ripping up a road. These roads are private, so that cost is not going to fall on the town. It's going to fall on the water district. It's not going to fall on the town residents.
Part of the water mains in Water District 12 are in the grass, not in the road. And other parts, it's like you said, in the middle of the road.
Right.
So, yeah, that would also be a cost that they would have to bear.
So what I'd like to do is, council will prepare a local law. I'd like to make a motion that the town board hereby sets a public hearing for June 16th, 2025 at 7 p.m. or soon thereafter, as can be heard, to consider a local law to amend Article 6, Chapter 53 concerning material used for water pipes in the town of Monroe.
Bingham will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Scancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Full aye.
Richardson, aye.
Okay. Next up, public comment. Madam Clerk.
Luis Rivera.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening, board members and Supervisor Cardone. Tonight, I would like to discuss a FOIL request I submitted on May 2nd. So I'm a financial person, 32 years, so the intent of my request was to obtain a year-to-date financial report by department with subtotals. I was looking for a simple way to view how town departments are managing their expenses relative to the 2025 adopted budget, especially since town residents were hit with a 10 to 11% tax increase. I received an email labeled Freedom of Information Request Partially Filled. The report I opened was a series of numbers, no department subtotals. I was instructed to search a town website for additional information relating to the budget. I did search, and the website was not user-friendly. I printed the full 2025 budget, reviewed it, but it still did not contain the specific targeted financial information I had requested. I would have to sum codes by department to get a snapshot view of a specific department. I searched for departmental reports, and I couldn't find any. I also explored the meeting agendas, which includes lots of documentation for every action taken at town board meetings. Yet I could not find consistent departmental financial reporting, no monthly updates, no transparency that would allow residents to track how public funds are being managed. So my question to the board is, do department heads recap the departments to understand what they have spent and what is left to spend? Do discussions come into play where potential decisions are made to reassess how much has been spent and where could they conserve or reduce some of the expenditures? I was surprised that these types of snapshots were not found. So my question is, where are our expenses year-to-date through the end of May 2025? Thank you.
Thank you.
Rick Cologne, please.
It's been a while. Good evening, everybody. I just wanted to come up and say a personal shout out to the Monroe Volunteer Ambulance Corps that 3 weeks ago saved my life. I see signs out there that say you can help a neighbor by volunteering, and I just wanted to come by and say to everybody, when you volunteer for not only for the fire department, the ambulance corps, which saved my life, as well as other entities in this town, you save neighbors and friends. We don't realize it. We make out our little checks and we send it in and don't think twice. But for those of you who can't do the full-time thing or as much as you would like, anything is helpful over there. It's so important. We have a great community here. Nothing is perfect. That's why if you look at the Great Seal of the United States on the back of a dollar bill, you see an unfinished pyramid with an eye. That eye represents the eye of the great, of the Lord, in a sense, overseeing the incompletion or the continuing work of our republic. Nothing is perfect. We strive to make things better. We can only do that when we get help, not only from this board, but from the community involved. We just had Mr. Pakula, who put in his resignation for, what was it, conservation. How many different things does this man work on?
Countless.
You were trying to think of
For
how
over
many-
the 40 years that I've lived in this area, the man has been on every time I turn around, from the museum, okay, to the Lions Club, to Commerce, the man never stops. You know, he is a diamond that we have in this community. And not everybody can have all of that energy. It's great. But whatever any person can do for our community helps. I mean, we had thank you for coming by, about the animal shelter, okay? And the issues that we had many years ago with that, it's a lot better. Don't worry, I won't go over 5 minutes, I promise.
3.
They gave him 5, you know, you gotta let the man
No, I'm gonna,
speak.
but what I would like to say is that I understand that everybody sitting up at this board puts in a lot of their own personal time. And I think that if all of the people in the town put in just a few minutes a day or a week, it would also help. There's a lot of angst out there, okay? We don't have to scream and yell at each other. We have to listen to each other. We may not care for it, but we should be helping each other, especially this town. So I thank you for your time. I thank for everybody in Monroe. Thanks again, Ambulance Corps. Rick Colon wouldn't be here.
Glad you're well.
Good to see you, Rick.
Better to be seen than viewed.
Yes.
So
Thanks,
thank you
Rick.
again.
Thanks,
Thank
Rick.
Thank
you.
you.
Rick.
Thank you.
Dan Burke? Do I keep giving everyone 5 minutes?
Yeah, I would.
I think that's right, right?
Yeah, hi, Dan Burke, elder statesman, 11 Rye Hill Road, Village of Monroe, Town of Monroe. And at 11 Rye Hill Road today,
Good.
what's wrong with
Good.
5
You're
minutes?
good, go for it.
I started
Go
giving
for it.
everyone
It's
5
a gift
minutes,
for
only felt
everyone
it was
today.
So hold on, one second, Mr.
Sure.
Burke. What'd you say, Barb?
I made the mistake of giving the first couple people 5 minutes, so I
Okay.
felt it was only fair.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Sorry.
ahead.
You restore my minutes, my seconds?
Use it up.
Okay.
ahead, Mr.
All
Burke.
right,
It's a
here we
freebie.
go. All right. Anyway, at 11 Rye Hill Road today, I planted 2 milkweed plants, which are the monarch butterflies are very fond of. So and I'm glad. I think the Conservation Commission would be happy to know that there's two more milkweed plants in Monroe as of tonight. And I'm going to name one of them after Charlie Pakula. And thank you, Charles, for your service. The other one I'm going to name after Ward Brower. And thank you, Ward, for your service. What I wanted to talk about was the movie theater. Right now, it's carried on our books at something like $6.4 million. That's a high value, but we're not getting the return from it. And I'm thinking that in order to change the dynamic, it might be a good idea for the board to appoint a subcommittee, a committee, as many citizens who want to join it as possible, because we have a lot of people in this town that love the movies and know a lot about the movies, and get that committee to start scheduling those 6 events. We once had a film festival in August. Nobody's coming to the movies in August, so it's wide open. You can do a lot with that. And the Lafayette Theater in Suffern has closed. And who knows what happens to Flagship. I don't see the numbers, but if they ever hand it back to us, it would be nice to have a big movie committee that is lusting to do something good with the theater. Please consider that, and thank you very much. Oh, and thank you for the extra 30 seconds that you gave me 2 months ago.
You have
Thanks,
240.
Dan.
Thank you.
Use it all up now.
Jay,
I can't believe you're leaving it on the table.
Spend the next 2 minutes talking about it, setting up a committee for the theater. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else, Barbara?
Liam Weishart. Did I say his name right?
Hi, everyone, members of the board, Tony, Mr. Cardone, sorry. My name is Liam Weishart. I reside at 279 Harriman Heights Road. I just wanted to say that I've been attending these board meetings for about 3 years now, on and off, of course, but I've attended most of them. And I've never seen someone come up and do what they did 2 weeks ago, where they made just a random drive-by comment that had nothing to do with town business at a town board meeting. But I have heard many times from the board that when we would come up and speak about the Rye Hill project, that the comments were not town business and that we shouldn't be making them. So I would like this board to be a little more consistent in how it applies its rules. I've witnessed many times this board talk over Maureen Richardson when she's discussing things like, say, the tree law, which you made changes to after the public comment was closed for verbal comment. You left it open for written comment. And then when she attempted to discuss the fact that you did that, you talked over her and basically ran roughshod over her. So why someone should be allowed to come to this microphone and make all sorts of allegations, which I could do. I could do this every 2 weeks. I could come and make random statements, and you would shut me down, as you should. That's it. Thank you.
Ginny Zaleski.
Ginny Zaleski, I live on 3 Freeland Street.
Speak into the mic.
Yeah, that does help. Right?
Yeah.
Ginny Zaleski, I live on 3 Freeland Street.
Good evening.
And I have a real problem with all the traffic on my road. It is obscene. And I did try to speak to some people a long time ago, and I did understand and knew people who knew how we could reroute some of that traffic, and they would get business in the town. It would help save some of the traffic on that street, and it would also, I just think it would help all the way around. So if I could speak to some people about doing that, I had some ideas myself on how it could be done. I'd also like to just ask a question about the overbuilding in our town. Is this a platform for that? Because I think it's just obscene. I mean, I speak to people from many towns, and they're saying the same thing. And, you know, I worry about nature. I'm worried about ecology. I've studied a lot of that, and what's happening is just not right, guys. I'm curious. And my last thing is...
I normally don't interact here. We don't interact. We let you speak.
You
and
can
then we'll
ask
answer.
your questions, and we'll write them down, and how it works is we respond
Liam, I
when
just
we're
want you
done.
to see who interrupted me, Liam.
Oh, my
Just-
God.
Just make that point.
Can you please sit quietly
So,
with your hands together?
What I'd like...
Don't
what-
hurt anyone.
What I'd like to know is, you're on Freeland Street?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Freeland Street, is in the village.
I do know that.
Okay, so you would address it to the mayor and the trustees. Now, what older buildings are you speaking about?
I'm sorry.
What older buildings are you speaking about?
I wasn't, older buildings, The overbuilding, she said
Oh,
overbuilding.
I'm sorry. Overbuilding.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm fine. And when you say that, I have gone to the mayor. I don't know where else to go. I have gone, they don't want to speak to me. I've even gone to our police department and asked them nicely, please call me back, because I've gotten tickets in the town, a ticket recently, for a sign that says no parking, an arrow here and an arrow there. That's very vague. It's very vague, and when I spoke to the police, they tell me to speak to the parking attendant. Parking attendant talks to me about things like that have nothing to do with parking. They send me to the police sends me here, the police don't call back. It just doesn't seem right to me. And the last thing I would say that other people have spoke to me about, our police department, which I have the most respect for, everyone, plenty of police in my family and people in politics. It's very dark, it's very cold, they don't come out and speak to you. If they do, they're rude. And if they want to put money into something, maybe we can upgrade that. But if I could just get some help, I will go somewhere else then.
Have you ever been to a village board meeting?
I'm sorry?
Have you ever been to one of the village meetings?
I've been to a couple of the meetings. It was a while back, and I would try to go again for that, but I just, if you're not getting anywhere, I'm hoping that people here can also help. I've wrote letters, I spoke to people about the traffic on my street, and there's accidents there. There is noise late night. It's horrible what's happening. So I just wanted to bring that to, can I also use that community center that's by the town hall, by the police station? Do we have a community center for Monroe?
We have a senior center.
I know we have a senior center. I mean a community center. We don't have one.
No.
Have the library.
I
They
know,
have
I
a
love the
community
library.
room.
And they're doing great stuff in the town. I was just curious about a community center, because when I went over to use the community center at the Jewish community center, I'm not allowed. It's locked up, and I find that to be a problem.
I'm sure you could call them and with any events that you had and ask the staff if you could rent out the facility.
Yeah, I did that. Can't do it. Just curious, but thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you very much. I have any responses?
Responses, but I'm sure that Mary has.
I do want to say, I'm not quite sure, Mr. Rivera, you were speaking about the departmental, they get a monthly
They get a
summary.
quarterly update, and
Yeah.
if they need, they'll get a monthly update.
Right, because I've seen a monthly one just for the water, so maybe there's a difference in wording, but I think the supervisor can probably address that more since he's the budget officer.
So each department gets a quarterly update of what they've spent year to date.
Okay.
If they want it more frequent, they can get it. I will tell you that Highway and I speak probably every 2 to 3 weeks on where their budget is.
Okay. What I was asking more along the lines of a monthly, like a monthly update. For example, what is your budget? Where are you year to date, and where are you month to date? And to have access, the public should have access to that as well. That was it. That was the only.
All right.
This was
Thank you.
a unresponded to FOIL request, so if those documents exist, should he expect them in the next fill?
You have to speak to our FOIL department and our council.
It just seems that he was directed to the town website when the information is not on there. I've had some issues with, you guys are extremely busy. You're answering FOILs from even other towns inquiring about properties and things like that. It can get overwhelming. I'm just trying to clarify that it seemed his complaint from what I wrote down was actually focused on an unfulfilled or partially filled FOIL. And then there were answers from the board that indicated that those documents, the quarterly reports could be included, and you did not receive any quarterly reports, or?
No, what I received was kind of it was just everything just thrown together on a spreadsheet. So you actually have to go in and kind of break it down yourself. Then I went into the website, the town website, and I just pulled the budget. But that was.
Yeah, that's
where
not
I
a
got- that's all I
year-to-date
got.
spending total, that's just a projection.
It also depends on how you presented the FOIL request.
Okay.
So if,
I mean, you're on the planning board, right?
That's correct.
All right. Do you see a quarterly budget?
I
Where
am
the
not
planning
at
board
that,
is?
I'm not at that level. That question would
Above
be
his
better
pay grade.
answered by the chairman. Yeah.
Have you requested it?
I haven't requested it, no.
Okay.
But I did request all departments, not specific departments. I wasn't specific. It was more a broad base.
Yeah, so I don't know what was sent, Barb, but if you requested all departments, you're probably going to get the report that basically lists everything, every line item, and it's broken down by departments. It's just not separated from the other departments.
Right. It's not comprehensive, is what I meant to say. In other words, if you're just looking at it, it's just a bunch of information, a bunch of numbers. So it's not put together in the format that I would understand.
You have it with you?
No, I don't have it with me.
Okay.
No, I do not.
Probably digital.
Send
But
it-
I'm sure they'll work with you if you want to. Does he have to make an appointment to?
Well, what happens is a FOIL request comes in, and I acknowledge you, and I say that we received the FOIL, and we're given period of, and then I look at the request, and I route it to the appropriate department. The department that I feel will have the information that you're requesting. That department responds with how they interpreted your question. They send it to me. Most times I can just send it on to the applicant, but if I'm not sure, I'll send it to the council for review to see that everything in that FOIL is releasable, because different requests, not everything is public information. Yours was, I believe. I don't think anything.
That's public, yeah.
Right, so I can't say that you got what you needed, yes or no, because I don't have that information. I went to the department and I asked that department to supply that information, and that's what they came back with. If you needed something with more information or worded different way, you can request it again, or we can work together with something.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
I would probably recommend modifying the FOIL request now that we've been given the vocabulary here on the board for the quarterly reports by department, or the most up-to-date reports by department spending. Might have been that there existed no monthly reports, or they made some monthly estimates in a spreadsheet. I haven't seen your request, but I'm happy to help out, and
Well, I
they've
think-
always been helpful when I've needed to clarify language. You can always stop in.
I think, too, the supervisor mentioned the quarterly report. Maybe if we could get you that quarterly report, if that seems to be more of the information you're looking for, then we can kind of narrow down the
Narrow it
scope.
down.
Right.
Yeah, I think requesting those reports for all departments is probably the reason that you have so much information, right? I think it's probably better to kind of truncate that into, maybe, the building department and the assessor's office, right? So that you're getting a bit more focused information as opposed to all departments, because then you're going to be receiving everything. And I'm sure that was probably routed to the finance department, and their easiest way to do that is to just share the most recent budget as far as it goes right now. I will tell you, we are under budget, right?
Since I took over in 18, we haven't gone over budget.
And that's because when we create the budget, we are overestimating what our costs may be, and we are underestimating what our revenue may be, so that we know that we're covered when it comes to, closing out the budget at the end of the year. We're being as fiscally conservative as possible to make sure that we're maintaining the services that everyone has come to expect, and being as sensitive as we can to the taxpayers' pockets, because keep in mind, each one of us is a taxpayer. So that 10 or 11% raise, that was felt by us too. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Rivera. Ms. Oleski, we're going to have a conversation. I'd love to talk more with you about the police department and some of the issues that you've had. And maybe I can help you understand those parking signs. I know they're a pain in the butt. When I was on the village board, I was the liaison to the police department. Can you hear me okay? Okay. Yeah, so I can help you with some of those issues, and then maybe give you a person to talk to who might be a bit more receptive to your questions. Okay? You're welcome.
I think it's a good idea also to direct them to the village trustees and the village police department, because we at the town level don't manage that. Yes, yeah. As far as the traffic on your street, you didn't expand on what's going on over there. You just mentioned a possible traffic reroute that you would like to discuss. You can always email all of us, even if you're coming down here and planning to speak. And that actually benefits us and you because we would have an informed response by the time you came down for more intricate questions like you had tonight. So we often work with our planning board, and our planning board has a specific traffic consultant that they always use, and we are happy to forward anything, any ideas, or assist in any sort of traffic
That's the
issues
village,
that you're
though.
having. Oh, then we're happy to forward it to the village as well. So I'm pretty sure that they even use the same traffic consultant, don't they?
Yeah, but it's still a village. We don't have any
Yeah.
oversight in their
You also
road
don't have
system.
any oversight over the village police department, so, you know, we have
We are in the
advisory
process.
capacity over everyone in the villages because we are their representatives as well. So we're happy to entertain any comments that you have. But again, if those are your comments, you are directly overseen by the village board, and that is over, you know, on, yeah.
And one other thing, although the village police department is under the oversight of the mayor and the trustees, I speak with them on a weekly basis, and we are in the process of formulating an intermunicipal agreement for their services. So I will relay that message to the chief for you. Yep, you're welcome. In fact, yes, when you're done, if you could come up and just give me your phone number, okay? Thank you. Anyone else? I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Poole will second.
Call the question.
Bingham, aye.
Gancarello, aye.
Cardone, aye.
Poole, aye.
Richardson, aye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.